Hey, it's Ben Sweet. How are you doing? I am really glad you're here listening to this, but I wanted to show you something really important that's happening right now. And that has to do specifically with the statistics, the specific sales that we've been seeing, but more importantly, the level of supply that we've been seeing. And we've talked a little bit about the difference between single family properties, yeah, attached and detached versus condos. You know, if we look at it, it's fair to say that we've got two different markets there. And the biggest thing to know right now is that the condo market is quite saturated. But what's important to note is it's actually in slightly better shape than it was this time last year. I'm going to show you that in a moment. But the biggest thing I want to show you right now is what's happening, what's been happening, especially just within the past 3 weeks. But what's been happening in the past 3 weeks and what's happened as a result of the past, let's say, 3 to 6 months have led up to where we currently are right now and what's likely going to happen in the coming months and year here. So the biggest thing I want to say here is obviously we're looking at the difference between 2016 and 2017, and what we're noticing is that the sales are stronger. So you look at this and you go, wow, okay, so what, 110 sales, big deal. But from a percentage standpoint, it's actually pretty decent. But what's most important here is the way this additional 110 sales eats into the new listings, but more specifically, how it eats into the active listings. Which, when we look at active listings, we have to know that this is the total selection for the market. So what we're seeing right now is the city of Calgary, and this is not for a Calgary and surrounding area. It's just for Calgary itself. So take a look at this here. Look, we've got stronger sales, we have less new listings, and we have less active listings than we had this time last year. Look at the difference here. 49.61 versus 41.57. That's pretty dramatic. The other part of the equation is for this exact same time frame, there's been more than 200 less homes listed for sale this year than there was in the same time period last year. There's been more sales and there's lower active inventory. So what this means is that it generally puts upward pressure on pricing. Now, nobody really would ever, make a prediction about the entire year based on 3 weeks of sales, but I'm going to do that anyway. And the reason why is because we're not looking at a 3 weeks snapshot here. We're looking at months and months and months of inventory that's led up to this current situation here. So for the sake of brevity, I'm just going to keep things moving along. But what I wanted to show you is that essentially we're seeing improvements in pretty much every single aspect, every single category here that we're seeing in the weekly statistics. So the sales price to listings. So properties are selling for a slightly higher percentage of their list price than they were in the same period of last year. Sales to new listings ratio. So new listings are considered the ones that are less than 30 days old. So when we look at this means 35% of homes are selling within the first 30 days versus 24% last year. That's pretty dramatic. That's a pretty big increase. Obviously, maximum paid over list price. This is a statistic that's kind of fun to look at, but really it doesn't represent too much. What's more important actually is the average price paid over list. And when you look at the difference here, there's quite a difference. And then the other part of the equation obviously here is the total number of sales at or above list price as well. So that is all of Calgary. This is condos, this is mobile homes, this is apartments, this is fully detached homes and acreages, all within the city of Calgary. And then we've got the detached portion here. Now you're going to notice that the majority of the strength that we're seeing is actually in the detached market. So when we look at the difference here between the active inventory of last year versus this year, there's a huge difference, right? Really, really noticeable difference. And then the number of new listings here is also down dramatically as well. And then the sales are up as well. So the biggest thing that's important to note here is that these numbers that we're seeing here are primarily the result of what's happening in the detached single family market. And that's a very important point to note. The next thing I wanted to mention here is that we're seeing some of this happen in the attached market as well. Generally speaking, there are more detached properties than there are attached properties. The other part that's important to note here is that we're seeing obviously that there's just less inventory straight across the board for attached homes as well, and sales remain relatively strong here as well, and new listings are also down. So that's really a very comforting sign. Now the other thing that's important to note here is that the condo market, although it is improving slowly, it is improving. What's important to note here is that the median price is actually up. The average price is up a bit, and this is for apartment style condos in Calgary. Total sales up a tiny, tiny bit. New listings are up, are actually up a bit, which is not quite ideal for the number of listings that we have. The active listings, we actually have more on the market now than we did last year. So when you see this number here, it really, 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 see these numbers here for active inventory, it really lets you know that it's happening in the attached and detached sectors of the market, which are obviously super, super important. The other thing I wanted to mention here, obviously, is the median price and average price are both up as well, which is good. And also to see that homes are selling more quickly. A higher percentage of them are selling within the first 30 days. And then, of course, in the surrounding areas as well, we're seeing a pretty obvious improvement as well. New listings are down. Total sales are just slightly down from where they were last year. Active inventory is down just slightly as well. And then the median prices come down just a touch. But the biggest thing that's fair to note here is this, is that we have seen that the Calgary market has rebounded, right? And then the next thing that will likely happen, maybe not necessarily this year in the same way, but the surrounding area will follow suit as well. Anyway, I don't want to talk too much here. Keep this nice and short. I hope you're having a great day. If you have any questions, by all means, just send me a quick email, or you can subscribe to the YouTube channel here. You can pop your questions on the Facebook page. We're happy to get in touch with you. And if you have any questions, of course, we are happy to get back to you as soon as we possibly can. Thanks so much. Hope you're having a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.